the better guy. Hello everyone, it is the Banter Guy here, and welcome to Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend. So, yeah, my history with the Tomb Raider games is pretty limited, I have to say. I'm just going to go through the options here. Generally, my experiences were limited to one of the early versions of the game, which I cannot remember for the life of me because it was only about 3 or so when I played it. And since then, I've only played this, and I love this game. Without doubt, the best of the Tomb Raider games I've seen, and certainly since I've played it many times, I enjoy it thoroughly. So without further ado, let us begin Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend 2006. Yes, that's fine.
Just because no one's ever caught one, doesn't mean they're not real.
That is very true, but perhaps they don't wish to be found. I've heard they're rather fierce.
Yeti only look fierce. They probably don't like being so cold all the time. I shouldn't like it either.
You never have to be cold, my Lara, if you don't want to be.
Look!
Henry, what's happened?
Lady Croft,
Mayday! This Bravo Tango 229er. We lost our port side engine. Trying to get cross feeds open.
Are we going to crash?
Starboard engine non-responsive.
Not unless it's absolutely necessary.
Stabilizer jam. Kicking rudder, losing altitude. We're going full nose down!
Close your eyes, darling.
I don't want to close my eyes.
You know, I think you forgot your climbing gear on purpose.
What would give you that idea? Really, Zip. It's like going up a set of stairs, only far less boring.
Yeah? Well, I want to throw up every time you look down. Hey, Alistair's back. Grab a headset.
Back so soon? From Florence, wasn't it?
Decided on Genoa at the last minute. My dissertation will never see daylight at this rate, but never mind that. What are you doing in Bolivia?
Ascending. Alistair, meet Tuanak. She's a lovely pre-Incan civilization, currently in ruins.
Delighted.
So,
I've been looking for certain artifacts. Well, for some time now. And an old friend working in La Paz has tipped me off about a rather promising rumor.
What sort of artifacts?
An ornate stone dais, among other things.
A big rock, and she won't say why.
Oh well. Where would the suspense be otherwise?
Right, so those two things I just collected are rewards. More or less they unlock things like cinematics, new costumes, and so on.
That was lovely.
Hey, do me a favor and check your PDA.
It still works, if that's what you're wondering.
Cool. They said it was waterproof. You should be able to swim with it, no problem.
So as you can...
Unless you eat it, then you'll have to wait an hour.
Oh, thank you, Zip. One of the absolute bonuses to this game is its voice acting. Its voice acting is truly wonderful. And the back and forths between Lara, Zip, and Alistair are just...
The video is going to make me sick if you keep on swinging, Lara.
just lovely to listen
Look away
to.
from the screen then.
So yeah. I'm going to do my best to get every reward in the game. However, I may skip a few if I either forget where they were or just can't be bothered looking for them. Because I know I've played Bolivia so many times that I know where all of the rewards are. But compare that to, say, later levels. Yeah, I may skip a few, especially the gold ones, because there's only generally one per level, and well, there only is, and they're hard to find.
Deep breath, Sip. This will be a long trip otherwise.
Yeah.
I forgot you were such an optimist.
So Lara Croft, a lot of people seem to have this preconception that she is just, I mean, fair enough. Her character is most notable for her
That was too close.
yeah. So really, though, she's a lot more than that, and her character, despite what people think, just based on her appearance, she's not actually that, well, in this game certainly. The Tomb Raider films, on the other hand,
Copy that. I'm here, but I don't see no climber. Yeah, well, I can't shoot on sight if I can't see nobody. Got worked up thinking I'd put someone down today. Now there's nothing. He owes me one.
So here's our first bad guy.
I'll tell Rutland myself. You know it. Give him the radio.
Into the air! Nice and simple.
Any idea who he is or who he works for?
I haven't the foggiest. He's deliberately unremarkable.
Is that good or bad?
It's deliberate, which isn't good.
So yeah, the bad guys in this game, well, specifically in this level, are some of the most generic, but I suppose they are mercenaries and don't exactly have, you know, very particularly interesting attire if you're a mercenary, but yeah, like Lara's Titanic tits really aren't her biggest character trait. In fact, her character trait really in this game is that she is sharp and she, you know, she's very forceful and she's not going to let anyone, even her old friend, get in her way. And you'll see that as we go through this.
Swear to God.
So what? You jumped out and started swinging?
No, sort of danced around. Screaming and yelling, whatever.
Yeah? Well, I would have kicked the hell out of you.
Yeah, whatever, man. Came flying out and screaming.
Crap. Yeah, the one melee attack in this game isn't especially strong,
Are these
but
guys?
you know.
The question is, why go to this much trouble to guard some ruins?
Quite.
Yeah, now sometimes when the camera keeps flipping around, it can be hard to tell which way to point the analog stick, because she has this thing about not really following logic when it comes to which direction you're supposed to be facing. That's my one gripe with the game, really, is just the camera controls, or like the camera in relation to the controls rather, specifically the analog stick, can be a bit fidgety sometimes. I'm going to bronze reward here. So yeah, and to be honest, there isn't really a great deal wrong with this game, aside from most people complained that it was short because they just really wanted more, because it is a really compelling game and it's really fun to get through. So yeah. that's the thing. With grapple it's just square, or I guess it would be X on the Xbox, and then Y or triangle to grab.
Isn't she beautiful? I'm falling in love all over again.
You say that to all the ruins.
I'm a terribly lucky girl. And here come the bloody tourists to spoil.
Oh, she said bloody. She's obviously British.
Your gear doesn't pick up detail that small. What do you see?
Men with guns. Mercenaries by the look of them.
What are they doing there?
Getting into trouble.
See what I mean? Like, her character is really interesting to listen to. Okay. Yeah, now we get this really cool sort of fighting tone. There we go. Yep, there was the melee attack in full action. With the bronze reward down here. So it is quite a short game, I'd say about 4 to 6 hours. So really, and it's about 8 full levels, and obviously Croft Manor. But I mean, despite that though, I think it's worth. I think it's worth. Sorry, not worse. It's not worse at all. It's worth the asking price, because I picked this up like in stores for. I picked it up years ago, mind you, but I got it for £10, and that was well worth it to me because the experience alone is just compelling to go through. The enemies are interesting later on, specifically, and yeah, the story is compelling, so I can't really fault the game in any major light because there's nothing particularly wrong with it. Yeah, the one thing that did puzzle me is a later plot point that I will have to emphasise when we get there, but I'm not going to spoil anything right now. It's just something that, a minor thing that got on my nerves a little. Aside from that though, excellent game, well worth it, and Lara Croft, despite how, like, some people may view her because of the films with Angelina Jolie, who was a reasonable casting choice, but, I mean, I think someone like maybe Kate Beckinsale might have been better in the role. Yep, you run. You run.
That sounded permanent.
Death by irony is always painful. Amateurs.
Yeah, so if you want to know what killed them, you'll find out in a minute. Yeah,
Glad you're on your toes.
that crap.
It's a useful survival skill.
That it is, Lara, that it is. So, yeah, I mean, the puzzle's there, the action's there, the adventure's there, and the controls. Oh my goodness, aside from the camera fiddliness with the analog stick, aside from that, the controls in this game are really smooth.
Moving heavy materials deeper into the mountain, probably. Sometimes ancient builders had to tunnel around hard rock deposits.
So there we go. And what have I got selected? Assault rifle, there we go. Dive! Okay. So here's, again, but the thing is, like I was saying, the controls are really smooth. And you can tell that by the way the animations flow, the way the combat flows, and despite the lack of any sort of major melee, there are some combos that involve you jumping or sliding under enemies while firing your guns. I'll try and pull off a few of those as the walkthrough goes on, but, you know, not exactly an expert at doing that kind of thing. So, here we have a Jaguar. It's kind of a classic Lara Croft enemy, like the dogs in the version I played, or the game I played.
And a pity.
Oh, that was nearly bad. So, yeah.
Is that a skull of a monkey or a person?
Yeah, that's creepy.
Spooky.
Yeah, there are some darker aspects to this game, and it is rated at 12 by UK standards anyway. So, I mean, I think that's a fair rating. I don't think it should have been like, or I don't think it should be rated a 7, obviously. But it seems, you know, for a Lara Croft game, it seems maybe mildly too dark, if that makes sense, because there are some later aspects to it that are just, you know, there's some things that maybe you might question being in this game, but yeah. Just checking all my stuff there, plenty. Okay, so now we're trapped in a puzzle room.
Looks like you're going forward.
Yes, but how?
With patience and persistence.
So, first puzzle room, or major puzzle room anyway. There are a few of these throughout the game. This is probably a good introduction, I'd say. Get a bit further up. There we go. There we go.
Someone picked an unfortunate place to hunt.
That he did. Well, the one thing I always wondered about this game was, considering these are jaguars or leopards or something, or maybe, you know, some other big cat, precisely how are they surviving in here? Because I seem to... there doesn't seem to be a great deal of prey. And okay, that's up. And the next one. It's a fairly simple puzzle, but there's going to be something I have to do to muck around with this puzzle a little bit, so as to get the gold reward, and you'll see that in a minute. But yeah, I've always wondered, like, how are the jaguars, or cheetahs, or leopards, whatever it is they are, surviving down here with a lack of prey, aside from the occasional Tomb Raider, as we have here. It always kind of puzzled me, in a get up there, Lara, get up there, in a weird sort of way. And yes, he's up there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the first reward in this room, and by the way, there are 3, is up here, which is bronze. So that's that. Now you've got to position these metal cages over the buttons, but what we've got to do first is... you have to do it in this order, otherwise... well, I mean, you can do it in a different order, because I've done it a couple of times before to get it in this order, but it's easier just doing it this way. Okay, so that's lifting up. Now, where we're trying to get to is up there, because that is where the gold reward is. So what we have to do is move this over here.
Man, this place is weird and complicated.
It probably wasn't so back when it was fully furnished. We're looking at the stripped-down version of what's left 1,000 years later.
Okay, so I think I've actually mucked that up a little bit. Is this... yes, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, this is a bit fiddly, so give me a second here, guys. Eh. Can only imagine how much tension it is lugging around this thing. Shouldn't that be? There we go. Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. Am I just... okay, this is confusing me now. It has to be straight on, and then 1, 2. There we go. That's fine, okay. Yeah, this is really fiddly, guys. did give you a fair warning there. Okay. And up. So, now that we've got that there, sort of folding up and down with enough space to get us through, we don't have to bother around with the buttons anymore. So, to get the gold reward, you have to climb up this side, and now the reason you need this door here is because this bit is climbable, and then you go up, and then you go up, and then you're there. And that was the gold reward. Now, my first time playing this game, that took me ages to figure out. So, yeah, but there you go. So, that's how you get the gold reward in Bolivia. Finally, we have a silver reward here. Then we drop down, and here it is. So the puzzle solving, not only for the rewards, but to get through the level, is quite satisfying. And it's one of the reasons I enjoy this game so much, is because not only the searching for the rewards aspect, but the story itself is compelling enough for me to play through the game multiple times. And believe me, I have. So, in here is a trap.
Oh, damn! Move! Move! You in one piece?
And still breathing, yes.
So, those were one of these sort of trap cutscenes where you are in a position of needing to do QuickTime events, which is either move the left analog stick a direction, or X, circle, square, or triangle. I don't really mind them. Some people do. Some people hate the QuickTime event aspect of the game. There's a cheetah thingy down there. We're going to shoot at it. How are you? There we go. So, now that the cheetah is dead, we can drop down without any worries or concerns. Now we've got another reward back here. Little sneaky going on here, but yes. Now if you saw in the cutscene, if you had a sharp eye, you'd know the silver reward is here. So that means that the trap was just up there. So you get that silver reward. That was nothing that used to bug me before I figured it out, because I basically scoured the level looking for just something, and I eventually found this rock that was just slightly out of place. Like the coloration was different. There's one up there. And so eventually I found it, and I was so happy when I did, because that used to bug me so much looking for that. I'm doing the quips here.
None of this appears in any of the literature, but I'd say they're ceremonial in nature.
And I forgot something.
If that's the case,
The silver reward.
it's not a ceremony I'm keen on witnessing.
Yeah. So I just Zip he's a really funny character. He really is. It's the center of the evil Kotrek Empire. I love the dialogue in this game so much. It's just such a joy to listen to it, and that's why I want to share it with you. And given the recent release of Tomb Raider, which I never... Well, I played like an hour of it myself, and... I mean, they turned this game, which was a puzzle action game, but with emphasis on both, into just a third... Well, again, both third person, but a cover shooter, like Hitman Absolution, which... I mean, fair enough, people like cover shooters, but I have my issues with them, so yeah, not a fan of the modern Tomb Raider. Anyway, there are some mercenaries over here with the stone dais Lara was looking for.
Lara, have you found anything for the fire? Lara, what are you... Oh, no, get back! Good Lord. What is it?
There's something in the light.
Stay here. What? Who are you? What? What about my daughter? You stay away from her. She meant no harm.
What's happening, Mother? Who's there?
Oh God!
Mother? Mother!
Hold your fire! Lara Croft! I've been hoping I'd get to meet you. At ease. We're just gonna talk.
I'm listening.
Maybe you found a piece of this. Is this what led you here?
Where did you find that?
It doesn't matter. What's important is what it does. Do you know?
What I know is my business.
So you don't then, and that means you don't have a piece. Amanda said you were sloppy. You should have paid more attention in Paraíso.
Amanda? Amanda's dead. What the hell do you know about Paraíso?
We're done talking.
What an asshole, seriously. Okay, Lara, frickin' run. Well, that was pretty action-packed.
There is more than one. Father, you were right.
What was that?
Keep yourselves caffeinated, lads. We've some work ahead of us.
Means we're still alive. Can't complain about that.
Okay, congratulations, you've unlocked some secret items. Check out the extras menu to view the following: cinematics, BIOS concepts, outfit selection, object models. You've unlocked time trial. To attempt it, select load level from the mission and select time trial on your difficulty. Okay. A new outfit. Okay. So there we go. There's all the rewards. We shall save the game just quickly. So guys, I've been the Banter Guy, and thank you for watching the first part of Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend.